Klaipėda Pulp and Paper Mill, one of the largest factories in the city, was built in the early 20th century in the southern part of Klaipėda, which was developed little at the time. The second administration building is an excellent example of the Jugendstil fashion of the time. It is decorated with rounded gables, featuring protrusions, which as if extend the geometric patterns of the facade. The corner of the building is organically finished with the main accent, an intricate octagonal turret featuring a double spire and open-work decor. The project for the city's new post office was designed by an architect Hermann Schöde in 1890. The architecture of the building is predominated by brick neo-Gothic shapes, representing Gothic tendencies. The decor of the facades features darkened and green decorative bricks and a number of decorative metal details. The building has unique stepped gables and a complex central avant core characteristic of the style. Nevertheless, the main focus falls on the rather high tower with a metal top. Upon entering through the old decorative door, visitors can see the neo-Gothic interior of the operations hall, richly decorated with wood and painted ceilings. A feature that is very rare in Lithuania, the architecture of the coach shed, connected to the utility building, and the weighhouse a bit further, is much more modest. Even such utilitarian buildings are framed with neo-Gothic gables and decorated with the green bricks. The same decor can be seen on the ensemble's fence, which also features ornate metal ornaments. This is one of the few examples of the German neo-Gothic ensembles that have fully survived to this day. The complex of 6 barracks was built on the outskirts of Klaipėda, on the other side of the railway, in 1904-1907. The buildings feature a combination of neo-Gothic elements, reminiscent of the Prussian historical fortresses, the so-called homeland style, and accents of materials characteristic to the period. The large barrack buildings are nearly identical, being symmetrical structures highlighted by large stepped gables and avant cores facing the yard. The side wings have 4 floors each, decorated with small stepped gables. On the axis between these buildings, there is the chapel and canteen building with a clock tower. Namely, this side of the entire complex could be regarded as representational. The asymmetric composition of the 2 smaller buildings and the third one, facing the modern-day University Alley, create a sense of variety. This counterbalances the monotony characteristic to building complexes and repeats the city's historical building arrangement. The smaller buildings were used for other purposes of the military town, that is, administration and offices, apartments. The neo-Romanesque Dovilai Evangelical Lutheran Church was built in 1861-1862, according to the project of Friedrich Stuller, the royal architect of Prussia of the time. What makes it different from numerous other houses of prayer in this region is the materials. The walls of the Dovilai church are built of boulders, collected from surrounding fields. Bricks were used only for the belfry, on the corners, and to highlight the building's functional parts. The arched windows are characteristic of neo-Romanesque style. The main facade is atypical. Instead of the usual belfry, it as if steps out of the main part of the building with a protruding bay. The most prominent neo-Romanesque element is located above the modest portal. It is a double window with a small round skylight. The interior consists of 3 naves and galleries above the side naves and the entrance. Vanagai Evangelical Lutheran Church, built in 1909, is a unique example of the Prussian neo-Gothic style of the early 20th century. It was designed by Entwurf von Tomascheit, an architect from Ragainė. The front facade consists of pointed niches and windows, highlighting the middle with a buttress. The left side features a round plastered niche, characteristic to historical churches of this region. The small triple rectangular windows and the slightly angled shape of the roof are reminiscent of the German homeland style. The symmetry is disrupted by a rectangular belfry established on the right side. As it was common for Lutheran churches of the time, the nave is connected with the main space of the church. Thus, the altar is well visible from all sides. The decor of the choir gallery and construction is also typical to this region.